Ta position dans les futurs dépend de ta vision dans les présents. Est-ce que tu le sais? La connaissance te placera au-dessus de ta génération. Tu risques de perdre le peu que tu possèdes en t'attachant à ceux qui n'ont rien à perdre. Alors sois prudent.
Bato bozadi na dibanda ya mboka boyeba bobunda pona mboka mboka ezala bomoko bomoko ya mboka
It's one of the most violent places on earth, but just how democratic is the Democratic Republic of Congo, given its president was supposed to have left office back in 2016? I'll ask the country's controversial Minister of Communications. First, protesters shot dead, opposition figures exiled, and the internet shut down. All some say because the president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Joseph Kabila, refuses to leave office. The country's constitution says elections should have been held in 2016, but the authorities keep postponing them. So what next for a nation that's still recovering from what's been called Africa's Great War? This week's headliner, Congo's Minister of Communications, Lambert Mende. Lambert Mende, thanks for joining me on Upfront. Your boss, Joseph Kabila, has been president of the Democratic Republic of Congo for 17 years, and you've had presidential elections in your country delayed for nearly 2 years now. Is he ever going to give up power and let someone else be elected president?
Well, as my president used to say often, you just read the constitution of the Democratic Republic of the Congo and you find the answer. There is a provision within the constitution that can tell you if he can step down or not. And it is written in the constitution very clearly. And nothing will change in that constitution.
Under the constitution there were supposed to have been elections in 2016. Your government said there would be elections in 2016. Then they were delayed. We were told they would be in 2017. They didn't happen in 2017. Now we're told they should happen in December 23rd. I think December 23rd, 2018, at the end of this year. How do we know they're ever going to happen?
Everybody knows that we had security challenges. I think you have heard about this terrorist offensive we had to face in North Kivu province, where even soldiers from UN died. You have already understood about what happened in Kasai with the Kamwina Sampo terrorist offensive. All these didn't make it easy. It jeopardized the whole exercises.
You haven't had elections?
Of course you can't.
Because in previous interviews, you and your president have said the reason for no elections was the Electoral Commission, the Electoral Register, getting technical problems. Now you're switching and saying it's security. No, you're looking for any excuse.
Security is a big issue. You can't organize elections where they are killing those people of the Electoral Commission. It is impossible. We had the problem of...
so on that basis, you're never going to have elections because there'll never be perfect security in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Not
but we had to register for electors. And when they start to register electors, we found a lot of provinces under attack, terrorist attack, and a lot of officials from Electoral Commission were killed, and they refused to go ahead with these electoral census that jeopardized the exercise.
So you're saying now that we haven't had elections, you haven't had elections in the Democratic Republic of Congo for nearly 2 years now because of security issues. Here's what I don't get. You say that you want, safe elections, free elections without violence. Your president has said in the past we want perfect elections, I believe is a phrase he's used. And yet in 2011, when he was re-elected for a second term, President Kabila, those elections were not considered free and fair by international monitors. You didn't care about free and fair elections in 2011 when he was being re-elected?
This is comment of people. We found
international monitors from the Carter Center.
I'm sorry, this is not a country that belongs to a commentator from I don't know who.
So who decides whether elections are free and fair?
It is people of Congo who decide. Okay. And we decide that the elections were good.
The government that won decided the election was
elected a member of parliament and it was good. So let people say what they want.
But the people of Congo, you say, will decide what's free and fair. The people in Congo are protesting in the streets. They have been for the last 2 years against the delays in elections.
Who protest, my dear?
There are no protests?
We are having 12 million people in this town of Kinshasa. Okay. And there were not even 10,000 people protesting.
10,000 people doesn't count as a protest in your eyes.
We are having non-elected people trying to capture the top job.
Only elected
without
people are allowed to
elections.
protest in a democracy. Is that your position?
My position is that non-elected people cannot give the policy of a nation. Only elected
So you're
people.
against peaceful protests? Wow, that's very honest and a blunt statement.
Peaceful protest, we lost policemen, they killed policemen, my dear.
Is it non-democratic to protest in the streets a delayed election?
It is
yes
non-democratic to come with guns and to kill policemen.
Okay, but if you're peaceful,
in the streets.
what about the peaceful
It
ones?
was not peaceful.
So 10,000 people came out with guns?
You are not well informed.
Okay, so I'm asking for information, Minister.
Among
Simple
these
question.
thousands of people, you found some bandits.
Were there 10,000 people with guns?
These police people didn't commit suicide.
Minister, were there 10,000 people with guns?
They were killed and the police has the right
I'm not
to maintain order.
And many peaceful protesters was killed. Were 10,000 people?
Many who?
Okay,
tell me the number.
Well, first answer my question. That's how it works. I ask the question, I'll tell you a figure in a moment.
2 people died.
You said 10
on 21st.
Minister.
2 people died.
Minister, this won't work as an interview, don't ask.
I have a report of
Were
the police.
10,000 people carrying guns? That's all I'm asking. Simple question.
No.
So you accept there were non-violent protesters?
Terrorists were among the protesters.
In every protest there are fringes of people who carried
Of course,
fire.
and the police
But you're
did his job.
accepting that
And
they
they
were
killed the
non-violent
police.
protesters.
They killed the police.
And you killed non-violent protesters?
No, they didn't kill any protester.
Oh, really? Okay.
It is a lie.
It's a lie. Okay.
Nobody can say
So
that.
France,
they
the French
protester.
government says that you use lethal force against Congolese civilians. Amnesty says you used firearms against unarmed protesters. Human Rights Watch says that you fired at point-blank range.
We have,
which governments don't like
we have
human
no
rights
problem
groups?
with Amnesty, but we have a problem with a lady working with Human Rights Watch. Everybody knows.
Well, I'm glad you...
she had a problem with our immigration officers.
Okay, so you have a problem with Human Rights Watch.
Well, that is her problem.
Well, Minister, apart from the fact that
I want to respond to that.
Apart from the fact that I'm having to repeat lots of questions, what I do admire is you do speak in a very blunt way. You said you have no problem with Amnesty International. This is what Amnesty says. The wanton disregard for protesters' lives, the unlawful use of force cannot be tolerated. The use of firearms against unarmed protesters contravenes Congo's obligations under international law.
Maybe they are not well informed. That is all.
Oh my word.
That's all.
So now you dismiss Amnesty as well?
You should not go and take a report from somebody who has a problem with somebody.
But I should take a report from the government that's killing the people.
It is Amnesty who said
who should I believe?
It is true.
Who should I believe?
Police.
I shouldn't believe the French government, the US government, Amnesty, Human Rights Watch, but I should believe the government that's carrying out the killing.
Because we are in the field, my dear.
Okay, so the
Nobody
UN
died while protesting.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. A UN official, UN human rights official on the ground, was monitoring events, was thrown to the ground by security forces, kicked and punched, even though he was wearing a blue vest identifying as UN. Was he a terrorist as well?
I'm not aware of that.
Well, perhaps you should get more information.
I'm not
Just
aware.
now you were telling me to get lots of information.
I'm not aware.
So you're not aware of an attack on a UN official reported by the New York Times?
No, we receive all information from our police about all these incidents, but these we didn't have that information.
The reality is that the Congolese people, a lot of Congolese people support Kabila, a lot of Congolese people don't support Kabila.
It is democracy.
Indeed, and there was a poll, a democracy without elections.
Yes.
There was a poll done last year that showed 10% of Congolese people support the president, 38% say they back the exiled opposition leader Moise
President
Katumbi.
supported by 10% of people?
Well,
are you joking? When did you make these?
No, a poll was done, an opinion poll.
Who?
By the Congo Research Group of NYU.
I have never seen those people making a poll in Congo.
Okay.
They are making polls here in New York or in Brussels or in Paris.
Okay.
This is liar.
It's all made up.
Those are liars.
Wow, okay, so they're liars, the UN might be liars, Amnesty are liars, Human Rights Watch are liars, the French government are liars, the US government are liars. You're the only one telling the truth.
So some Western countries are unhappy because we are giving now partnership with
Western countries are unhappy.
Some partners like Belgium.
Okay. What about the respected head of the Catholic Church in your country, who has compared life in Congo to living in an open prison?
We have
a devastating
no problem with the Catholic Church in Congo. Let me tell you.
They have a problem with you, it looks like.
We have problem with some prominent clergymen who are acting as politicians.
How about the head of the Catholic Church?
No, the Catholic Church does not have a head.
This is what he says. How can you kill?
Diocese have its own authority.
How can you kill men, women, children, youths, and old people all chanting religious songs? This is what he says. Are we now living in an open prison?
I'm sorry.
Are we now living in an open prison?
Nobody were killed during demonstration.
Cardinal Lowell Masonga says, are we now living in an open prison? It's a very simple question.
It is the clergyman who is acting as a politician who said so, but not the Catholic Church.
Okay, so
and he was disowned by many other bishops.
Okay.
Under the Catholic Church.
So you just dismissed the bishop as well?
Him. We dismiss him.
Why? Because he doesn't like your business relationship with China?
He's a politician.
Okay. Do you fear your Congolese opponents? Is that why you don't let them protest freely?
Do you think that there is any country in this Central Africa, this part of the continent, where people can demonstrate freely as in the Democratic Republic of Congo? Give me a symbol.
Where hundreds of people are being shot dead?
100 people?
6 people were shot dead in January 2016.
6 is not 100.
Let's just do the maths then,
yes.
since you're challenging numbers. I love a few facts.
Yes.
In December 2016, 62 people killed. No. In August 2017, 27 people killed. That's 89. That's not on the 7 in December.
Without names.
That's 96.
Without
that's not on the 6 in January. That's 102
Without
dead.
identity.
102 dead.
Just the figures.
You're just dismissing your fellow Congolese.
Just the figures.
You don't seem to care.
Where is the names?
Why don't you read the reports by Amnesty, Human Rights Watch, Reuters?
People can be influenced and write reports.
It's impossible to have a conversation because when I give you a fact, you dismiss it.
They can write fake reports.
It's fake news. You're borrowing President Trump's phrase.
They can write fake reports. I'm sorry.
How many have you killed?
They have been confrontation between terrorist elements.
You call them terrorists.
And our soldiers.
No one agrees with you.
No. In Kananga.
No one agrees with you.
Not in Kinshasa.
How many people have been killed?
Demonstration. Nobody were killed during the demonstration.
How many were killed?
5 terrorists were killed.
Since December 2016, how many people have been killed in protest?
Not even 10.
Really?
Not even 10. And we have court-martial, the soldiers who have killed the people out of the combat operations.
The problem is, you keep saying the facts are fake, information that your government is actually trying to control information. You shut down the internet. You prevent people from texting. Sounds like you're very worried about free protest.
You will not find a country where freedom of speech, freedom of expression more than Congo.
With respect, this is just
Black
nonsense.
Africa. You will not find.
You're just
Give me a single name.
You're just making nonsensical statements.
Give me a single name.
You're the freest country in Africa. Are you the freest country in Africa?
Give me a single name of a country. You are not
with respect, you're not interviewing me. I'm interviewing you. Who is?
There is not a single country.
Are you saying that your country has the freest speech in Black Africa, to use your phrase?
Yes.
So why did the EU sanction you, you're the Minister of Communications, for a, quote, repressive media policy that undermines the election process? You're now banned from travelling to the EU. You're banned.
This is lobbying from Belgium, I know very well.
Okay.
So this is because of China, I know very well.
And why did the US government sanction officials in
I'm not sanctioned by the US.
But your colleagues are? Your colleagues are?
No minister was
Both the US and the EU have sanctioned members of your government, but apparently you're the freest government in, quote, Black Africa.
No.
I mean, this is why some of your statements are rather nonsensical.
We challenge that measures. We are challenging that measures.
Okay, you're challenging them. But right now you're sanctioned by the EU.
We have a problem with a country called Belgium.
Okay, but the US government says you're corrupt and prey on your citizens.
Maybe they are influenced by Belgium.
Okay, wow. Belgium is a superpower these days.
No,
they can change the Trump administration.
No, they are making a lobby.
Here's what I don't get. The US government, the EU, the Belgian government, the French government, the Human Rights Watch.
Speaking of Belgium,
I'm not.
Don't extend to others.
I'm quoting the US government. Okay, me. I'm quoting the US government, the French government, the EU, Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, NYU, the UN, the cardinals and the Catholic Church. You've dismissed them all.
No. Catholic Church is not.
Okay, one cardinal that you don't like in the Catholic Church, a very senior cardinal.
Yes.
Okay, you've dismissed all these people, which is your right. But what I don't get is, why pretend that you're a democracy when no one thinks you are? Why not just say, you know what, we don't care what anyone thinks of us.
Democracy.
We don't care.
We are a democracy.
Why go through this charade?
Free people.
Where you say you're the freest country in Africa.
Yes, we are a democracy, but we are free to interact with who we want. And when we decided to interact with China, we got problems with Belgium because they are the former colonizer and they wanted us to remain in partnership with them.
So my question is, when all of this criticism from the international community is coming at you, why not just say we don't care? Why pretend that you're a democracy when no one thinks you are?
We are a democracy because we are. It is a matter of a fact. It is not a matter of opinion. It is not a matter of opinion of others.
That's how this interview began.
It is a matter of fact, my dear. It is not a matter of somebody saying you are a Democrat, so you are a Democrat. It is a matter of facts. Are we acting as Democrat? If yes, we are Democrat. Even if you don't think that we are Democrat, if factually we act as Democrat, we are Democrat indeed.
Lambert Mende, thank you for joining me on Upfront.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bato bozadi na dibanda ya mboka boye bae bobunda pona mboka mboka ezala bomoko bomoko ya mboka.
Ta position dans les futurs dépend de ta vision dans les présents. Est-ce que tu le sais? La connaissance te placera au-dessus de ta génération. Tu risques de perdre le peu que tu possèdes en t'attachant à ceux qui n'ont rien à perdre. Alors sois prudent et choisis bien ton entourage.